Estamos grabando.
Uno, dos, tres.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so I have a little intro here, and then we'll dive in.
All right.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right, welcome back to Dirt Surfers. Join us as we dive into the vibrant culture of our hometown of El Paso and its intersection with art, creativity, and business endeavors, uncovering the stories of local artists and visionaries who are shaping our community. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
ChatGPT. Nah, just joking. That was all me, I swear. Today we have Nancy Loya, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
In the studio, musician, artist, plant enthusiast, and local hustler. She's been all over town, educating and supplying the city with lush plants, giving us something a little greener to look at in our beautiful desert landscape. Thank you for making time for this interview, and welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Awesome, we're
Excited to
here.
be
How you
here.
doing?
I'm doing good. Enjoying the first days of summer. Are we in summer
Is it?
yet?
I don't know. Honestly, I
Feels
never pay
like it.
attention to that shit. Like, if it's hot, it's summer to me.
Yeah.
You know what I
so-
mean? Like, because it's like either super, super cold or like super, super hot here, right?
Yeah. It's summer now. It's summer.
It's summer. Okay, so before you came in here, you were actually telling me that you're not from El Paso.
Yeah.
So let's introduce you.
All right.
Let's do a little. I have roots and upbringing. I kind of try to keep it all with a plant theme. And
Okay.
It's kind of corny,
I like
but
that. I like that.
yeah. So let's talk a little bit about where you're from.
Okay. So this is kind of a hard question because I'm from several places.
Okay.
My origins. I
Yeah.
was born in Juarez.
Okay.
I
What
was
is native?
Juarez native. I moved out of Juarez when I was about 6 or 7,
Okay.
onto a little tiny town in New Mexico called Columbus.
Columbus, New Mexico.
you heard
Shout
of
out Columbus, New Mexico.
Its borders with Palomas.
I've never heard of it.
Chihuahua.
Wait, Palomas, Chihuahua, New Mexico?
No, it's borders.
Oh,
So it's Columbus is on the U.S. side, and then Palomas, Chihuahua is on
Oh,
the
wow.
other side.
never heard of this.
Yeah, it's a really, really small town. My dad had a business there, and he used to drive back and forth from Juarez to Palomas. And one day he got in a car accident, and we were like, "Oh yeah, we're moving.
We're staying
We're
here.
staying."
I kind of have a similar story to that, but the only reason I'm from El Paso, but I don't know if I should talk about. Yeah, fuck it, I don't care. So my dad actually got kidnapped. He wasn't, no estaba involucrado, but so he was going to school over here. He had a job over here, and my family was. I wasn't even born yet. But yeah, he was like cleaning like his car outside one day at his house, and these guys just showed up, and they were like, "Hey, we need to talk to you," and they put a potato sack over his head and took him. And thank God for that experience because, like, well, they were like, they want money. They're like, what are you doing? How are you doing all of this? And he was like, dude, we have a tortilleria. Like, my wife sells stuff out of, like, the little changarrito or whatever. And, like, I'm not, like, they're like, well, we need, like, $10,000. And, yeah, so they decided to come over here. They were freaked out. So my dad came over here, made the whole move, and then I was born in El Paso, so thank God.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, maybe tragedies happen, but then
Yeah.
that makes us come to where we're supposed to be, right?
I think so too because I just gained a lot of perspective, being born in Juarez, living like my early childhood there, and then like
So, how old are you when you were in, like, you remember living in Juarez? You weren't that
oh yeah,
little.
no,
Okay.
I wasn't that little. I moved when I was 6, 7, didn't know a word of English. But here's the thing.
Have a good, no, you don't have an accent.
Oh, thank you. Disney Channel helped a lot.
Disney Channel?
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
But weirdly enough, like I remember being little and being obsessed with like wanting to learn English.
That's a good
And
thing.
I would like stare into the mirror and like
No, shut up. That's so funny. But that's how your brain started, like, okay, what the fuck is she talking about?
No, but that was even before there was plans to move to the US or anything. I was
Really?
just like, I would ask anyone, do you know English? Can you teach me?
Really?
Yeah.
So you were already ambitious as it
I
was.
was-
You were
yeah.
in the mirror, like, manifesting. What?
What?
What? That's hilarious.
Yeah.
So that's how it started.
So that's how it started. So then, so we moved to Columbus, And in Columbus is a tiny town. It's not even a town, it's a village. They call it the village of Columbus.
That sounds pretty cool.
It's honestly, yeah, it's pretty dope. But it is
Perdón. Telemarketers, they want their money, they're not gonna get it.
insurance. No, it's so small that there's not even a middle school or high school. So
Wow.
I went in fourth grade.
Okay.
My brother was in seventh grade, so he had to go to the closest town called Deming, and that was 30
I
minutes
know
away.
Deming. Damn, to go to school?
Yeah.
That's crazy. And that's how you did it too?
Yeah, once it became time for me to go to middle school, we moved to Deming. And yeah, I lived there for a couple years and then moved to El Paso 2013.
Damn, so you're pretty fresh to El Paso then, huh?
I graduated high school and my brother moved to Las Cruces and my parents and I moved here.
So dope. Well,
Yeah.
I guess welcome.
Thank
How do you like
you.
it? Be honest.
Honestly, I feel like I'm from El Paso.
Yeah.
Because the culture in Juarez and El Paso are more similar than Juarez and Deming.
In what sense?
I feel more Mexican in El Paso. Like
Yeah,
more,
yeah. Like you don't have to hide it.
Not that I had to hide it. It's just Deming is very. I mean, like agricultural. There's more like there's a bigger Caucasian.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say cocaine. I was like,
There's a lot of cocaine. There's like a bigger like
Caucasian. Yeah, yeah.
Very country.
Okay.
Which I appreciate.
Yeah.
But it was kind of.
It's not your roots.
It's not my roots.
Yeah.
I never felt like I was from there. We had no family members there or anything.
So it was literally the car crash that kept that was like the next move to
Yeah.
get you out of that.
Yeah, yeah. It was just too dangerous. But I made a lot of friends along the way, and I'm very grateful for my time in New Mexico. Very, very grateful.
Damn, so Juarez, New Mexico, El Paso.
Yeah.
Well, El Paso.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Sick.
And I shout out to New Mexico.
Yeah, no, I like New Mexico. I mean, I don't know. Never mind. I'm not even gonna open up that.
I would. Never mind.
Okay, cool. So let's start off with what inspired you to learn and care for plants and start La Planta?
Ooh.
How did let's like touch on, because I mean you were already talking in the mirror like wish I don't know Spanish and English. So like how were you all like as a kid, were you always like about plants, or did it like slowly just got introduced to your life, or how did it even come about?
Honestly, in the most random way.
We want to know.
So my grandma, my mom, they loved plants.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, they're cute, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah, like I guess. And it was just like a señora thing for me. Like, oh yeah, my mom likes plantas because she's a señora. My grandma likes plantas because
I mean that's a big thing in Mexican culture though.
Yeah.
Like a huge thing.
Don't you think that as of recently that has changed? But
Well, okay, no, it's fine. What do you mean? Like in what sense? Like now we have fake plants like this?
no, I feel like after the pandemic, like it happened for me. Like I just became more nurturing, and
It's almost like a
people-
spiritual thing.
Yeah, people
I know what you mean.
started to recognize the importance of
Plants.
plants. But yeah, I was like, yeah, they're cute, whatever. But I was studying biology in
Okay.
college, and we had this. It was a lab, and we were doing experiments with beans and growing beans in mason jars and
Oh shit,
putting
yeah, I've
like
done that.
coffee on them or like
Yeah,
other
yeah.
things to see how they grow. And with that, this was like 2019.
Okay.
So like yesterday. And
So this is fresh.
this is fresh. 2019, 2018, por ahí.
Okay.
And as they were growing, I was just like, oh my
This is
gosh,
cool.
like I put that there and
Yeah.
now it's growing.
So you started appreciating the process of plants in general.
I felt like, honestly, I wish it was that deep. It was very.
It's not even like that.
It's not even like that. I just felt like a magician.
Oh wow.
Like
That's a cool way of seeing it.
I felt like I did this and now,
Yeah.
and that was just so, like very, almost like instant gratification, but not that instant. It took like a week.
Yeah, no, yeah, especially like well, like okay, so like my mom had plants and she would make me, if I got in trouble, she would make me clean them. And she was like, "All right, there's a rag. And dude, she had like crazy amounts of plants. But they were always like really big leaf. I don't know anything about plants, so yeah, don't judge me or anything. But no, yeah, she would get me like a little bucket of like water, and I forgot. I think she would put vinegar. I forgot what she would put, but she would literally make. She's like, "This is what you're gonna do. You're gonna grab it, and you're gonna just clean each leaf." And dude, it's like I counted, it's like 2,000 leaves, and I'm like, "Do you want me to do all of this shit?" And she's like, "Believe me, like you're gonna get something out of this." And dude, sure enough, like
Karate Kid.
yeah, pretty yeah, well, it kinda, dude. No, really, because like at first I was like, God, it sucks, but then I was like, oh wow, like after it was clean, I appreciated the plant, and it even like kind of like stood up, and I was like, this thing's alive.
This thing's
you know,
alive.
and like we don't really see. I think that's what you're kind of talking about in the sense of, like how it changed recently, because I do see a lot of people getting into plants. I see a lot of that. Like everybody has a little section in their house or apartment or wherever where it's like it's almost like a Zen garden where they go and like they spray them and do all this crazy shit, and like which is totally cool. I don't judge it. I like it. I really like it. But I don't have fond memories of plants. Yeah. I'm trying to change that because it was like a punishment, right?
A little block.
Yeah, a little kind of. Because then like it's hard to keep up with plants in general. Like you really have to, because like, well, I'll let you, maybe give us a little bit of background on that stuff. But as far as the plants that you like sell and grow, well, let's talk about La Planta. Like, so it started with Senora vibes.
Senora vibes. After those beans, I was like, "This is madness."
What do beans sprout? Just like a sprout?
Just a sprout.
And
we
that's
were
it?
just testing what made them grow faster.
Is there bean plants? No.
Yeah, you could just sprout, like germinate a bean, like a little.
But does it give you a plant?
Yeah, eventually.
And then it gives you another bean.
Yeah, another bean. But after that, I went to the nursery and I'm like, I'm gonna get plants. Let's see. I wanna up my game.
So we went from beans, and then you're like, now let's get a little more serious.
Let's get a little more serious. I got like 3 plants, and then I still have one of those 3.
You have one of the original of the 3? Did you name it?
It's a spider plant. Yeah, it's Lexi.
Lexi, the spider plant. What's a spider plant exactly?
So a spider plant, it kind of looks like this. It's very interesting. They sometimes call those type of plants crawler plants because when they're growing, the way they propagate is they grow like a long stems with tiny versions of themselves.
Oh, that's trippy.
And once they touch the ground, it roots.
Whoa,
and it just makes another
aliens,
plant.
dude.
So it's like they're crawling on the ground.
What the hell? That's what fascinates me about plants, dude, is like, well, like I've seen experiments with like music and stuff, and like how if you yell at a plant, it literally reacts.
Yeah.
And then like now people are like hooking them up to like some sort of MIDI controller stuff, and like plants are talking and like communicating somehow with music and stuff like that.
It's
pretty
crazy.
trippy.
I recently was listening to a podcast that was talking about this plant called I can't remember the name, but I think it's from Costa Rica, and it can change shapes. Yeah, it can change shapes, but they're trying to figure out if it's like
if it's intentional.
Well, yes, but how it does it. Like, is it a chemical that the other plant is releasing that makes them like change their DNA or something? But they tested it by putting a fake plant next to it.
Oh, that's
and it
trippy.
still changed to look like the fake plant.
So it adapts to the plants around it?
Yeah, it looks like it. It like camouflages.
Whoa.
But it's like, do they have eyes? Like, how do they
See,
know?
that's what I'm going to ask you. Do plants have eyes? That's one of my questions. Do plants have eyes?
Maybe. The heels do. I don't know about plants.
Oh, man, I like that. Damn. So you're pretty... So, but then, okay, so it's one thing to be like into something and it's for you. Mm-hmm. But then you started the page, right? You started the Instagram.
Yeah.
What was the main drive for the Instagram? Was it just to like post your plants and stuff like that? Was that the intention to like start selling, to start like your own little business? When did it start turning more into like, whoa, okay, maybe I can make money off of this?
Well, like I said, I was studying biology.
Yeah.
I wanted to be a doctor.
Oh, gnarly.
I had no intentions of ever opening a business.
Yeah.
I've always kind of been like towards the creative side, and for creative purposes, it was the only reason why I ever thought like, yeah, business would be cool, but it was never in my...
No, that wasn't like the end game.
Yeah, no. So it was like 2019, towards the end of 2019, I worked at a clothing store, and I had a coworker. Him and we loved plants together, and we would just
Talk about plants.
nerd out. Yeah.
Really?
And he was like, "Oh my gosh, imagine if we opened a business." I'm like, "Oh my god!" And it was so vague, like so vague. We had no plans for it. We had a name, and it was called Leave Us Be.
That's cool. Play on words. I like that.
Yeah, it was his idea completely.
Leave us be. That's cool.
But he changed jobs. We kind of lost touch. The pandemic happened.
That fucked everything up.
It fucked everything up. But I mean, fortunately for me, and I know this is a very privileged standpoint, I was like finding myself.
You're like, finally, the world is shut down.
Yes.
And I think a lot of us took that approach. I think it was just like once the world opened up again, it was a hard transition to like, well, now we have to start doing everything like all over again.
Yeah.
So.
But now we kind of see things different.
Yeah, no, for sure. There was like an awakening.
It was an awakening.
Yeah.
Like it took me about a week to realize that there was nothing I had to do. Like, you know, that sense of like, oh, I can't rest because I still have this to do.
Yeah.
I'm procrastinating on this. Once those feelings went away, I was just like in a constant like enlightened state. It was
That's pretty cool.
It was awesome. I was just nerding out with my plants, doing experiments during the pandemic, like putting seeds in cans. What happens if I do this and this and this?
Whoa.
And I was just like showing my plants all the time on my Instagram. And I had a lot of friends that would be like, hey, like I wish I could have plants like you. You make it look so cool, but I kill them. I'm not.
That's the hard part.
Yeah, but that was so sad for me because I'm like, I kill them too. It's not about.
I have a plant cemetery over here.
I have a plant cemetery. You know, I wanted to help my friends not be discouraged by that, because if you're experimenting, if you're fucking around, they're gonna sometimes die. Like, you know, but it doesn't mean you're a bad plant parent. You know, it's just a little adjusting. Sometimes it doesn't like the environment or the light until you get it right.
Yeah.
You kill.
So you've killed many of plants.
I've killed many plants.
You're a serial plant killer.
Yes.
To become an enthusiast.
Yeah, but it's part of for me. I mean, in my quest for I don't know, loving plants, it's part of the experience. Like, for me, it's very experimental, and that's what I love. I think as we grow up, we kind of lose that sense of curiosity.
Yeah, definitely.
And plants have kept me curious, and I love it.
I can only compare it to skateboarding because that's what I come from. But that's like a constant thing with skateboarding. I think you look at life a little differently because everyone thinks like, well, what they see with skateboarding is the landing of the trick.
Yeah.
But it takes like, sometimes you have to go like another day, or especially if you're filming and stuff, you break bones, you get hurt, you go through this whole process and you appreciate it so much because you're failing and failing and failing. And then, dude, it's like 2 seconds that you land it. And then now you have to get another 2 seconds and then make a bunch of videos.
It's like saying, I wish I could skateboard like you, but I don't want to fall.
Exactly. It's like you're not even trying. Well, it's not fall for you, right? Yeah, that's a very good way of looking at it. Damn. Very philosophical.
But after, like, towards the end of the pandemic, I don't know. I was literally eating peanut butter and jelly, and I was just, like, the whole time I was like, damn, a plant business would be dope. A plant business would be dope. What would I do with that?
Well, but you already had people asking you. So they found inspiration in your posts, and they started seeing, like, damn, maybe I want to plant.
Yeah, like stuff like that. And it made me excited to know that I was having that type of influence on my peers and my friends and stuff.
Yeah, but you didn't think it was going to be plants.
No, at that time, that plant business idea was gone.
Oh, okay, yeah, with your friend.
With my friend.
Yeah.
But every now and then I'd get like, you know, when you're in the shower and you just like
zoning out about the world.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like the plant business would come.
La Planta.
You know what? I couldn't even think about it that way because La Planta wasn't even, I think it was still like Leave Us Be. And I was trying to.
Okay.
Like Leave Us Be, Leave Us Be.
Yeah, but your mind was like still turning with that whole idea of plants.
Yeah. But I was like, no, I couldn't run a business. That's crazy. But one day, like towards the end, towards the end of the quarantine, I was eating a PB&J.
Oh, that's right. PB&J time.
PB&J time. And I was like, if I had a business, I'd want it to represent me. And I think my ethnicity, my culture has a lot to do with me. I mean, I pride myself on that. But how can I show that with a name? And I was like, La Planta. Like, just boop.
But
La
see, that's the
Planta.
process, right? You were like, well, it started with the seed with your friend. It didn't happen. If anything, that plant died.
Yeah.
And then you go and do your thing. You eat a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And you start thinking about like, well, what if? And then just like that, La Planta is born.
La Planta is born.
Damn, that's a pretty cool story.
I got so excited with that name that I had my computer with me as I was eating my PB&J, and I was like, Canva, let's make something.
So who made did you do like, well, okay, about with your Instagram? Because it's like a very cohesive Instagram.
Oh, thank
you know, it's good. It's like, I feel like with some Instagrams, you only get like maybe like halfway through and you're like, all right, I'm through with this. But with yours, you can tell like through the whole time that you've been documenting all of this stuff. Do you have any like photography background, or do you have?
No.
But you were populating it all on your own.
Yeah.
Damn.
So my brother is a filmmaker.
Okay, cool.
I watch behind the scenes and stuff like that. I'm just really an enthusiast. I don't do photography. I love taking pictures of everything, and I find constant inspiration on the things that I take pictures of. Like, for me, that's a very big exercise, especially with plants. Like, in the morning, if the first things that I do is take pictures of my coffee, my plants, whatever, like, it just gets the ball going throughout the day.
Yeah, it's like the process of inspiration, right?
Yeah.
So that's like your daily life.
Yeah.
You're not premeditating anything.
I'm just literally sitting there and I'm like, oh my God, look at that light. Like,
That's
that
hilarious.
looks so good.
Where's my camera? But that's the cool thing is like where I feel like before we didn't have all these tools to like in the moment capture something that inspires us. It's like you have to do some crazy shit or go to school for that, or you know what I mean? Wow. Yeah. So that's how La Planta was born.
That's how La Planta was born. And little by little, I've been trying to up my photography game a little bit, my graphic designs. I have found to really, really love like making the posters and
you do all that also?
Like, I just grab inspiration from things that I see.
Yeah. And then remixing it. Everything's a remix.
Everything's a remix.
Everything's
Life's
a remix. Exactly.
Nothing's original.
Very, very cool, dude. So then, okay, so you have the Instagram, you have these people. Like, what was your first step into, okay, let me open this door and start offering my knowledge, but also why not sell some plants? Because if you're buying them at nurseries. So now you're building a relationship with the nurseries. You're having these pop-ups throughout El Paso. And then your following is now supporting you and hitting you up at these pop-ups and now purchasing stuff. But you also like, my sister told me that she bought a plant from you and she still has it. And she told me that you told her some information. She doesn't remember exactly, but she was like, no, like I trusted her. I was like, because even when you go to a nursery, it's kind of intimidating. You don't just, it's not like there's people like, if you need help, you know, like just let me know. You're just like, well, cool plants.
Yeah.
But when somebody knows about it, it does open up your mind to like, I'm going to take care of you, you know, like I'm going to take you home. Do you like constantly, I don't know why I grabbed that. Do you constantly, or like, are you constantly learning about like the upkeep of plants, or did that come from the experience of you doing it with Senora vibes, or like seeing all of that? Because there's weird stuff. There's like, oh, put bananas in some water and like let it chill, and then use it to water it, because don't use chlorine water, because then you're messing up the soil, and like all these things that go into it. I just feel like, you know, you have a plant, just give it water. But if anything, that's like the bare minimum of what you should be doing.
Yeah. Exactly.
So like, do you educate yourself, or how did that come about?
Well, it really is a constant, like, you know, I'm constantly learning. If I go to a bookshop, I go to the plant section and I'm like, oh, okay, let's see. So I do, I mean, I know a lot about plants, but I'm still
a novice. Would you say you're a novice?
Yeah. I mean, the plant world is crazy out there.
Yeah,
Like
hell yeah,
there's
dude.
just so much about them. Like from like the chemicals that are composing the plant to
Yeah.
like it's just insane. So I do love to learn and I love to share the knowledge because
Yeah.
that is a big reason. Like that's a big part of what inspired La Planta. Like I want, if I'm gonna have a plant business, if I'm gonna want to make plant, like people love plants, I want to educate them. I want to
Yeah.
give them the tools
Yeah.
for them to have.
You're not gatekeeping.
I'm not gatekeeping. No, plants are for everyone.
Yeah.
Like I want your plant to thrive and I want you to feel like you know enough to keep it alive. And
Yeah.
then once you see like the new leaf, like I swear you're gonna take it up on yourself to educate yourself.
It's like te nace algo adentro. Like you're like, wait a minute.
Wait a minute.
And then you appreciate time and you appreciate, so corny, but you kind of appreciate life in general. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I like when I started researching you, like, I mean, I just Googled plants and there's just so many cool, like, analogies and stuff about plants. Like, that ties back to like us in the sense of, like there was a good one that I read that said seeds grow in darkness. Right. And it's like, well, yeah, right. To anybody. But if you're going through something, it's like, it's going to be dark.
It's going to be dark.
It's going to be dark as fuck.
Yeah.
But it's growing. And eventually you're going to pierce that veil. And it's like it transforms into something that you could never imagine. Right.
There's a lot of like shadow work for sure.
Whoa. I like that. Shadow work.
No, there is because, and you know, it comes in peaks and valleys. Like
Yeah.
Once you, that little plant sprouts, once that seed sprouts, like there's still something going on.
Exactly.
Here. And sometimes you have to put some attention to whatever's going
underneath the soil. It's not just what you see visually on top of the soil. Damn, I never thought about it like that. That's like super deep.
Yeah.
So like taking care of the roots also.
Taking care of the roots, because if you're just cleaning
that's literally, yeah, for real.
But like are not like taking into consideration what's happening underneath.
So give me an example of what you would do to take care of the bottom half of the plant. Like, is there?
I would check for root rot.
Root rot.
Yeah.
Dude,
it's a thing. It's a thing. So, okay, I'm going to say the analogy and also like the technicality. Okay?
Wow. Okay.
So technically, root rot happens when there is no drainage in the pot.
So like stagnant water.
And then it becomes like a fungus, and then it starts killing the plant from the root, and it becomes crazy to where you have to like bare root it and just start over kind of. But if you don't take care of that, your plant is done. So what I would say that like an analogy is like, don't burn yourself out. Take care of.
Take it slow.
I get very carried away. Like when I was starting La Planta, I would not eat. I would not sleep. Like I would just forget.
Like a crazy lady, like fucking crackhead. I'm not gonna say it, but yeah.
But for real, like I was just so excited.
Yeah.
That I wouldn't eat. I wouldn't sleep. I was repotting till 2-3 a.m.
It's like true passion.
It was, but it was amazing. Like I loved it.
It gave something back to you.
So much, but it's not sustainable. It's not.
I'm dying right now. I need to eat. Where are the peanut butter and jelly sandwiches?
Not only that, not only your body, but once your mind is tired and it recognizes that your body is also tired, like it all just kind of like no.
You have to find that balance.
You have to find that balance. You have to make that drain in that.
Yeah, no, that's true.
You know,
yeah.
You have to let the water out.
You're helping the plant with what did you call it? Root rot or what?
Root rot.
And then now you're acquiring some kind of root rot because you're not taking care of yourself.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
And because I am so attached to La Planta, when I'm not doing good, when I'm burnt out, you can see that. You can see that in like La Planta. I don't post as much.
Let me move on to the next question because there's a lot of stuff that I kind of want to cover with you.
All right.
But really cool stuff. Really, really cool stuff. you're a musician, no? Do you? Do you still sing in a mariachi group? And how did that begin? Because is that? I mean, I had to. That's the only way I could have researched you. I was just going through your Instagram, but do you also sing? So you're also like a musician or an artist?
Yes.
How did that start?
That's been a very, very big part of my life. I think the most constant in my life, music.
Oh, really?
Yes. So from a very early age, like my parents are not musicians, they're not artists, but they appreciate it. My dad loves music. My brother started playing the violin maybe in middle school. And I mean, we're only 4 years apart, and he was a big influence, you know?
Yeah.
When he moved on to high school, he joined the mariachi group.
Damn, there's a mariachi group?
Oh my gosh, it's huge in Deming. Mariachi is huge.
Like instead of band, you're in.
They have band too.
But there's also a mariachi
There's
group.
a mariachi
That's
group.
so cool.
And it's like they go to competitions.
Whoa.
It's madness. It's awesome.
Damn.
It's a very big community, not just in Deming, but like you link with people from Tucson.
Is there mariachi competitions?
Mariachi conferences? Yeah. No, it's so dope. I mean,
I like your pants.
yeah.
Where'd you
Well,
get those pants? No, I'm just joking. Because
It's
it's like
very
a
much
whole.
like
It's like
that.
a big. I don't know like the history of mariachis, but low key, they have fire outfits.
Yeah, they invented
Like-
skinny jeans.
Dude,
Just kidding.
they probably did. They're like, what the hell? We've been rocking skinny jeans this whole time.
Yeah.
That's so true. So then so then you got inspired from your brother, and then did you go into the mariachi like class or group or?
Yeah, so the mariachi began, you couldn't be like in mariachi in middle school, you had to wait till high school. So by the time I was a freshman, my brother was a senior. And yeah, like I went to like the mariachi summer camps. I learned to play the guitarron. That was my first, like, that's how I learned
Gnarly.
music. That's how I learned how to read music.
Guitarron?
Guitarron.
So it's just
big
like a
bass.
giant, like a big bass guitar?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you're
It's
talking
like
about.
the fat one. It
Yeah,
has like
yeah, I know exactly what you're talking
It's
about.
that one. And I loved it. I've always, like my parents have always like recorded me singing when I was
Okay, so that
little.
was always there.
That was always there. So once mariachi began, like I wanted to really like be really bad at music, not just singing, but music
In general.
in general. But because I was the only one who wasn't like shy to sing, they're like, all right, you're singing all the songs. And I'm
Oh,
like, no,
shit.
I want to play guitarron. So
So you didn't even go into it singing. Like you
No.
were started off with the strings,
yeah.
but you weren't shy about singing.
Yeah.
So they were like, no, we need this.
So how mariachi works is like everyone gets a song usually.
In what sense? What do you mean?
Like not everyone gets a song, but there's like 4 singers in the mariachi.
Oh, okay, yeah,
and
yeah,
whenever
yeah.
one's not singing,
Uh-huh.
like they're playing.
Oh,
So like
yeah,
that.
yeah. It is like a back and forth,
Yeah.
like a little small orchestra.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, I was singing all the girl songs, and guys would be a little less shy about it.
Got you.
But yeah, I did mariachi all 4 years of high school.
Wow.
And while I was doing high school mariachi, I was also in an outside group, Mariachi Ilusión. My brother directed it. And then
It was like an outside group of like, so no longer in school. You guys are. It's like a band.
yeah, it's like a band,
a
and
mariachi group.
we played a lot in El Paso, a lot of competition. We played rock and roll mariachi 3 times, and we won.
Damn, I
like
didn't know that was a thing. That's badass.
yeah, you make like these arrangements for like rock songs, but into mariachi.
What?
We did medleys. It was so cool.
See, I feel like it kind of took like a peso pluma for like everyone in the States to really appreciate live music like that.
Yeah.
Just because I mean, we grew up with that, right? Like quinceañeras, or like when somebody's birthday, they're serenading you like outside with like a bunch of people. And it's like, I remember having a neighbor where that happened and people like called the cops. They were like, and this is here in El Paso, you know what I mean? It's like, dude,
Yeah.
come on. And the cops were like, dude, they'll be done soon. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, just this is culture and you're calling the cops.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So then, okay. And so are you still in a mariachi group?
No, I stopped mariachi maybe about 4 years after graduating high school. So like I was on and off for about 7 years.
That's a long time.
Yeah, but I love it. It holds a very special place in my heart. But it still wasn't like the type of music that I would listen to. Like I loved playing mariachi. I loved being a mariachi. But I did enough of it to not want to listen to it like all the time.
That's true. It's a very specific vibe.
It's a very specific vibe. But I was more into like indie. I was a lot into jazz, like since middle school. I was a lot into very different genres.
But singing, like you were, I know you were into music, but well, let me segue into this because you also have, I don't want to get the name wrong. I believe it's the Sanctum. What's the Sanctum? Let's that's a kind of good way to segue into that because I feel like, I mean, I have no idea what it is. I haven't really touched into it or anything, but I see a lot of music.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Can you explain a little bit what the Sanctum is?
Yes. So the Sanctum is our house.
Okay. Oh, you live there?
Yeah. Well,
that's tight.
Kinda.
Okay.
So my partner and I, we got this house February of 2022.
Oh wait, the Airbnb? Okay, yeah, I have seen that.
We live upstairs.
Oh, that's tight.
But it's one house.
What?
And so we Airbnb the downstairs. We are on and off about Airbnb-ing it, but we mainly wanted it to be like a sanctuary, like a sanctum of like arts and cultured and like-minded people where they can discuss, you know, like a fort, you know, for the arts, you know.
That's cool, dude. Yeah, but see, it's like, it's different, and I think it works because I feel like people think about those ideas or those like ventures as like business ventures. So it's like, or they see and they compare it like, why don't we have you have no idea what music is, but you're like, let's buy a place, let's make it Airbnb, musicians come here. Cause we kind of had something similar down the street. I don't know if you remember, well, no, you already should have been here, but it was called The Outpost. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
It tripped me out because I was like, well, what the hell is this? And they asked us when Desert People was like really popping, like, hey, there's a lot of bands coming through here. They get to stay here. They can record, but let's get El Paso brands or El Paso influence in here so that when they leave, they can take something with them. Oh. And then it just disappeared. It like, I don't know what happened to it. It was a really cool spot, but I don't know what happened. If like from one year to the next, I'm sure that's really hard to like manage and like, you know, control and stuff, but we don't really have a lot of that stuff here. Yeah.
For us, luckily, we get to have the liberty of like, how can I explain this? Experiment with it a little bit without like a lot of
no está fijo.
No está fijo because we live there anyway. Like we have the place anyway, and might as well like do something.
Use
really
the space.
Cool.
Yeah,
use
no,
the space.
for sure.
And my partner, he lived in San Francisco for about 10 years, so he had a lot of ideas from over there too.
Oh, yeah.
So we remodeled it ourselves. We painted it. We did the floors. It's a beautiful, beautiful house built in 1910.
So it's like, what is it? Is it in the historical area?
It's not in the historical district.
Is it Sunset Heights? What is it?
Virginia Heights.
Virginia Heights. Okay. Yeah, no, I know exactly what you're talking about.
It's right by like El Paso High School.
So is it still available for Airbnb, or is that like is it like a temporada?
Yeah, it's out of temporarily closed.
temporarily closed
for Airbnb. Okay. We're still down to do shoots and stuff.
So it's open for artistic stuff?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Open for artistic stuff. So
yeah, because that's what I saw. I saw like I saw a thing with like Crystal Poppin' and like so you could film there. I'm sure the acoustics are dope.
Oh yeah. It's a really cool space. Like aside from the curation that we gave it, it's a very welcoming space.
Yeah.
It's hard to explain. Like I would think that an old house would creep me out, but since the beginning, like I got nothing but good vibes from that place.
I heard a really big thing or I read it or some shit where it's like, it's not the place, it's the people that go into the place. Yeah. So it's like, yeah, that energy's there. But if you bring in energy that's better or positive, it completely wipes any bad vibe. And then the new energy that you bring grows, right? Because there is a lot of freaking places down there, dude, that are fucking scary.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you have a basement.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, it's like, who knows what was going on in
And
those
there's like
basements?
tunnels in the neighborhood. And the previous owners told us, like, they did some research on the house, and before we moved in, they told us it was the first place where the women's suffrage meetings were held in El Paso.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Trauma.
Trauma. And a lot of people were born there.
What?
Yeah.
I mean, if it's the name, dude, like,
The sanctum.
wow, that's so cool.
So it's very, very special, but
Yeah,
we want to keep the light going in there.
that's really, really cool. No, it would be really cool to check it out, maybe do some stuff there.
Yes, dude.
Wow. Mind blown. The sanctum. Check it out. Sanctum.
Sanctum.
Very cool. Okay, let's move on. So we covered mariachi. So okay, so do you do anything with music currently?
No. I was in a band for about 4 years called Soul Parade. It is
Soul Parade. That sounds familiar.
Soul Parade. It's like an indie.
¿En español?
¿Cómo se llama? Festival de almas.
Okay. See, but that's cool, dude. That sounds fucking cool.
Desfile de almas.
Desfile de almas.
But it was like think like Vampire Weekend / The Strokes.
And this was all local El Pasoans?
All local El Pasoans. It's still a band.
Okay.
But I was the lead singer for a while.
That's a big responsibility.
Yeah.
Right? Because like you're carrying the vibe, no? Well, it depends on your vocals.
It depends on the vocal. Here's the hard part. For me, it was where like, although you're the front person,
Yeah.
like you're the front person while performing, but not while making the music or like while.
Do you produce as well?
Mm-mm.
So you show up, give me the microphone.
I want to do more.
Guadalajara. That's how Guadalajara, testing Guadalajara 2.
La cucaracha.
La cucaracha. That's cool though.
Yeah.
Okay, so then it was,
So that's,
but how did that form?
well, Soul Parade was a band before I went in there. They had different singers from time to time. But I was there for about 4 years. But like I said, that's the hard part, that you're like the one singing it, but it doesn't mean that you're the one putting the most input like behind
Creatively with the
creatively.
music.
Yeah. Like it's I don't know. It's hard. It's hard.
It's true. Because it's like, okay, like a movie. So when you're scoring a movie, you have to have like an emotional attachment, not so much in the behind the scenes editing type of thing, right? But like what is it that I'm looking at that is now turning into some kind of emotion?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's a mind fuck.
Or it's also like if I don't know, who's your favorite actor
Actor?
or actress?
I've never been asked that. Let's see. Okay, well, I'm a big action guy. I like Nicolas Cage. He's not my favorite. Who is my favorite actor? Damn, you put me on the spot. Let's go with... I'll do Brad Pitt just because of Fight Club.
I love Brad Pitt. Okay.
Who doesn't like Brad Pitt?
True.
Come on. Right?
So picture Brad Pitt.
I'm picturing him.
I'm picturing.
Damn.
And you see Brad Pitt and you love his performance and you're like, wow, that's a great movie. Like it was shot beautifully and everything. But Brad Pitt didn't do the movie.
Got you. I know what you mean now.
You know?
Yeah.
He's
a layer.
He's a layer. And then you run into these actors that want to start producing and start directing. And it's like.
And did you ever have that, like, you never wanted to do that?
I did.
You did?
I did. But I feel like I didn't know how to manage more people, like trying to formulate my ideas with other people's.
That makes sense.
Like,
that is a lot.
Yeah, but it was a lot of fun. I do enjoy it a lot. Did enjoy it a lot. And yeah, La Planta, it was just time for me to put all my attention to La Planta.
So full energy transferred into La Planta.
Full energy transferred into La Planta and the Sanctum.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because that was up
I can't
and
even
running.
imagine. That's a lot, dude. Like, I mean, it's a whole house.
It's a whole house.
And now you're like dealing with musicians.
Yeah.
But it's all underneath your like experience level, no? Because I mean, like mariachis, bands, historical area. It could have been something totally different.
Yeah. Yeah. It just didn't make sense to take.
Like be doing all these different things.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
makes
I
sense.
feel like all my life I've been doing like all these things, and
Story of our lives,
it's the-
dude. Pues
like,
qué haces?
Pues qué haces? Pues todo.
¿De dónde sacas dinero?
And then you're burnt out, and you're just like, I
You're
don't want to
just-
do anything
You're
anymore.
back in the shower, like what the fuck?
Yeah. So I just didn't want to do that again.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay. So you walked away from that. You
I-
were like, I'm gonna focus on this.
Yeah. It
And
just
it's-
changed.
And it's been growing like a plant.
It's been growing like a plant.
Wow. Damn, Nancy, that's a lot of shit. So then let's go back to your artistic stuff. So what else do you dabble in as far as like the arts? Because okay, damn. Mariachi singing, what is it? Home renovation, plants. What else like underneath, or do you consider yourself an artist?
I do.
Okay,
I
cool.
do.
And that's a hard thing to like carry,
Yeah.
right? Especially well, what? Jinx.
Especially when that's not your income.
Yes. I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah. Like my whole life, I have been the artsy kid. I have been the girl that draws pretty, the girl that paints pretty, the girl that sings pretty. But it's like, in a way, like, this is going to sound so weird.
No, just say it.
But because I didn't have to try super hard to be somewhat good at that, like it wasn't like an ambition for me. Like but it's also very freeing because it allows me to do my art in a very carefree way. Like I do it when I want to because I want to, and it's what I want.
You're not gonna make it a job.
I'm not gonna make it a job. I like to draw eyes. I like to draw different things, but it's like without the pressure of, people are expecting this painting from
You're
me.
not applying that pressure to become a better artist. You're just
No.
letting that grow in its own way.
I'm letting that grow in its own way. It is something that I do want to like
Nourish? Yeah.
because it is a big part of me.
Damn, someone's getting arrested, guys. Sorry about that.
Sorry, that's gonna
Yeah,
be
who
me.
cares? They show up. La planta.
She's been having la planta.
Take her. They're not real plants. They're aliens.
So
That's cool though, that if you're already acknowledging, because I think that's like those are murky waters as an artist, right? Because I think you reach a level where you're like, is this just like a way to express myself just to feel okay? Because I kind of have that too, where it's like, if I don't create, I can't live. Like, if you know what I mean? So it's like, if you get a job or a 9 to 5 or whatever, and you totally cut away all that stuff because you start getting older, responsibilities or whatever, eventually you hit like a level where you're like, I'm just gonna quit. Like I need this process just to be me. Do you kind of feel that?
yes,
Okay.
and it took me a while to recognize that.
It's a hard pill to take.
Yeah.
It is.
Especially, I wanted to be a doctor, and I had to come to the realization that, hey, like, you're not going to give all this up.
Yeah.
And if you do, you're going to be miserable.
So you had that notion young.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm not gonna. Well, I mean.
Well, not that young.
Oh, okay.
I'm still in school. I just
But
switched
you're
majors.
still. Oh, really?
Yeah.
So what are you going to school for?
Business. I went back to school for business too.
Damn, doctor to business.
Yeah.
No, but see, think about it. Like, you could be a doctor at a bunch of other things. Like,
True.
technically, right? Like,
A doctor in plants.
doctor in plants and. I mean, but that's tight. In
Yeah.
reality, that is kind of like what you're doing. They're like your patients in a sense, right? And you're helping them get to the final level. Because that's what I learned about plants is that the like last stage of a plant the flowering stage.
Sometimes. So I like to do this thing where I trick my plants into flowering. So I make them think that they're going to die.
Wait, you could do this?
Yeah. So you give them like very little light, very little water, and they're like, oh my gosh.
Dude,
we
you
need to
deprive the plant
bloom." Yeah.
to force it to bloom?
Yeah. and then he spreads the flower. I'm like, all right, good girl.
What? Dude, that's so cool. I've never. How did you even? Was that through like trial and error? Is that something that you learned?
I think I read it in a book. I have
So just give it the least amount of everything.
Yeah.
And you're kind of forcing it to get to that.
It's like on survival mode. It's like if I don't reproduce now, like
I'm gonna die and that's
I'm
gonna be it.
I'm gonna die and that's it. And not all plants bloom. And most of the plants that I deal with, they don't bloom because they're like tropical plants, and the only way they bloom really is if they're really, really happy. Like in the jungle happy.
Whoa. Have you ever gotten one of those plants to bloom in that sense, or is it just impossible because of where we're at?
It's not impossible, but I have yet to make a tropical one like bloom. I've made cacti bloom and
that's hard. No, bloom. I heard that's freaking hard because like half of the plants that we have here aren't even at the full stage.
Yeah,
like we've had a cactus out here for a minute, and I've never seen it like has flowers and stuff now.
It has to do also with like the composition of the soil and all these different things. They need all different chemicals too.
So what would be if somebody is listening to this and they're like, I want to get a plant. I don't want obviously I don't have a rainforest. What's like a good beginner plant for indoors? Would you say? Do you even have one?
I will say this.
Because like, look at this. This is beautiful, dude. Look at it.
You're doing a good job.
Marshalls. Marshalls.
Oh, it's not real. I'm kidding.
Oh, I was like, dude, I grabbed it like this.
I know.
No, but I definitely want to get a plant. So I'll get a plant from you, and that would be really tight to just have it somewhere here in the background.
Yes.
As these episodes, keep going, I'll take care of it. If anything, I'll torture it, like you said, to force it to. But you know what? That's really cool because, I mean, it's kind of like what we were talking about with like the arts and like skateboarding. You kind of have to put yourself through some kind of pain or just not a comfortable place.
Like resistance.
Exactly. To get to evolve, transform or die. You know what I mean? Like that's a big mantra of mine. You're just like, you have to. But I think that I've never been curious. I always see plants as like, well, that's the plant. I never saw it as like stages until I started looking at all your stuff and I was like, wait a minute. Like that, I've seen small. I always thought that they stay that small, but these things, like, dude, they can grow to be giant ass plants, which is fucking nuts. But
so, for example, one of my most popular plants, it's Monstera deliciosas, and there are these. Like,
is that the actual name?
Monstera deliciosa.
Oh, dude, sounds like a Harry Potter spell.
Monstera deliciosa.
Straight up, dude.
So those guys, they can grow huge, and they're like those big leaves with like holes in them.
Oh yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about.
They grow huge, and people are so scared of them. Like,
yeah, I have one, and it always dies. But then the petals are like the
leaves.
The leaves, not petals. Yeah, petals. Sorry, perdón. The leaves are like coiled up. So it just looks like a stick, but then eventually it starts to open up. Yeah,
that's a new leaf.
Named it Swiss, like Swiss cheese.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's the one?
That's the one.
Okay, cool.
So because it is so big and intimidating, people are like, no, I mean, I'm not ready for that plant. Oh, wow. But so they would go for like a Julieta. Do you know?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a very, very good beginner's plant.
Julieta.
Because it is so forgiving and
it'll take the torture. It doesn't need a lot of watering. It wants you to let it dry before you water it. Like, it needs to be dry for some time before you water it. But what people don't know is that the Monsteras and the Julietas are like the same care. Yeah, no, I feel you.
So it's like, it's hard to say like which one's like the best beginner plant, but it's also like how crazy people can get, so intimidated with.
It's like the urge to control something.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you're doing too much. It's like, just leave it. Let it do its thing.
And honestly, I am an anxious waterer. Like for a long time, I wouldn't leave the house without like touching on my plants. Like,
really,
I need to see you.
And is that a bad thing?
Well, if you're always late to things, yeah.
Okay, yeah. Where were you? Oh, dude, my plants.
My plants. I had to check on them.
But they're okay.
They're okay. But it's just, I like to check on them by like touching them, and if they're a little stopped, it means that they're they're drier. So I just kind of, and because I'm always staring at them, I want to water them all the time.
Yeah.
You know, so I have found that like terracotta pots are my sweet spot because it allows me to water them.
Because it retains the moisture?
No, it absorbs the moisture and releases into the.
I never thought about that.
So the excess moisture, so it doesn't stay like wet for too long.
So that's like the main problem, no? Overwatering?
Yeah,
I feel like that's what it is.
Yeah.
Because then gnats and then like, what did you call it? Root rot?
Root rot, that's the devil.
Really?
And gnats, they're so annoying, and they're just like right now it's like gnat season, and they're eating me too. Like they're on me,
That's
and I
crazy.
thought they were mosquitoes. My was like, no, that's a gnat. I'm like, oh my god, I'm turning into a plant. But
well, I mean, there has to be some correlation. Maybe in like your afterlife, you were some plant or something, and it's like, all right, you made it, now you're a human. You know, like who knows?
yeah. But
Wow.
I hate
So
these
if you
guys.
could give any advice right now to people that have plants, I mean, you would have to know obviously what kind of plants they have, but would that be like, what are your top 3 things that you could probably give advice on?
I think the main one would be don't overthink it. Like they need less than you think.
I like that.
Maybe if you want them to be the absolute happiest plant, you need to do a lot of research and you know you need a humidifier and all these things, but
That's extra.
that's extra.
Yeah.
You're doing too much.
A little too much.
I mean-
a humidifier?
It's not a bad idea. They will love it.
Well, because it's like a tropical environment.
And El
That makes
Paso's
sense.
so dry.
Yeah.
Your plants would definitely love it, but most plants, they just want some sunlight, not too direct, but not very indirect.
Yeah. Like you don't want them in the dark.
You don't want them in the dark. No plant likes the darkness, not even low light plants. And rule of thumb for most plants, they like to be dry before you water them. So 90% dry before you water them.
And then what's this thing where I see that it's like instead of watering them from the soil down,
Bottom watering.
is that what that is?
Yeah. So sometimes when you don't water your plant for a long time,
Yeah.
the soil becomes hydrophobic. So
What is that?
you start pouring water on it, and it just kind of falls off the edges.
Ah, okay.
It doesn't absorb it anymore. It becomes
Gotcha.
like a rock.
Got you.
So you bottom water, and that helps a lot.
And it absorbs it.
It absorbs as much as it needs, and you cannot water a plant too much. You can only water it too often. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like when you water it, like
Water it.
saturate it, like
Really water it.
Really
but
water
then,
it.
yeah.
But then wait till it's almost completely dry until you water it again.
Gotcha. Damn, Nancy. You really know plants. This was a test. Because back here, come out, guys. No, I'm just joking. We'll have the plant committee.
I wish there was a plant committee.
Maybe you should start it.
Oh my God.
Plants need rights.
Itty bitty plant committee.
That's good. That was really good. Okay, so we're hitting 58 minutes here. I feel like we could talk about this stuff like all day. It's just so fascinating how I've always felt connected to nature in that sense, but never enough to, dive deep into it. I don't have any plants because of that stuff. And it's like, it does take a lot of, well, now that you explained it, it really doesn't need that much attention. If anything, it needs trust.
It needs trust, yes.
Plants need trust.
Yeah, they'll take care of it.
Okay, so goals and aspirations for the near future
So,
by BS.
so I'm in the process also of opening my own shop.
Oh yeah. So you talked to Mark a little bit on Instagram, but he told me that you are gonna be at Café con Leche, which is like right down the street, no?
Right down the street.
So how does that? Is that what you're building the stuff for, or is
No.
that something completely different?
So you remember how he had like the tiny cafe?
Yeah.
That's gonna be La Planta.
You're taking over that spot,
Yeah.
and what's gonna happen to Café con Leche?
Oh, Café con Leche is like
He's gonna be there.
He's gonna be there. So Café con Leche, he migrated into the building,
Oh,
And he's been operating
You're
in-
talking about the outside,
the outside.
the little like trailer. That's gonna be you. Oh, that's tight. That place, that place is super cool.
Yeah.
It's like a hidden gem. Like outside, it looks like I don't know, like a taller or something. But then you go in and you're like, what?
Yeah, there's vinyls, there's coffee,
Yeah.
there's burritos.
So you're there.
I'm there.
And that's going to be the next big step in La
HQ.
Planta.
Yeah, finally a place. I feel like I've been fantasizing about just my own like space
Yeah.
for a long time, just because it's hard to maintain a space that is here,
Yeah.
like in your mind, to put it into Instagram, and it doesn't happen
Yeah.
if it's not photographed,
That's very true.
right? So yeah, it's time, and I'm having the grand opening June 1st.
June 1st?
June 1st.
And how is that going to all play out? Is it going to be like, it's just going to be you, like a big grand opening for La Planta?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So is it like it's not a plant store. It's like, well, it's like a plant sanctuary.
Yeah,
Damn.
the mothership.
That's tight. That's really, really
Yeah,
cool.
and there's, I just want to embody everything that I think La Planta represents, and it's been that what La Planta has been growing to be. And
Yeah, it's the next step for La Planta. It's no longer just an Instagram page. It's like now there's gonna be a physical spot.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, congratulations on that. That's gonna be dope. We'll definitely swing by.
Yeah. I'm excited.
Oh man. Okay. Plugs. Feel free to. Is there anything that you want to promote, or well, obviously that you said June 1st.
June 1st.
So you're not singing anymore? Are you doing any of that? No longer.
I'm taking a break from music for a while. I've told myself, like, so far music has followed me
Yeah.
everywhere.
I don't think it's ever gonna.
So it's never gonna go away.
Yeah, no.
I think it's just when the time is right, I'm gonna get back into it and
You should drop an album with just like plants. Like I feel like we like having this spot. It kind of made us into idea machines. That's what we call ourselves. We're just like, there's always ideas.
that's cool.
But there was a really cool. Well, let me ask you this one last question, because I did see a post on your Instagram where you were at a set, or I don't know what you did, but I think you were sitting on a stage with a bunch of plants. So is that something that you also do? Do you provide like a backdrop with plants to say events, or have you ever done it for like a movie or anything like that?
So my buddy Evan, he does the MF Pearl.
Yes.
Evan and David, and we kind of have this thing where I stage the midnight sessions. So have you seen the midnight sessions?
Yeah,
like
dude. So that's all you.
That's all me, like the plants. And after the session, either the day of or the day after, they go to the sanctum and they take pictures. So that's why like Crystal Poppin was there.
Yeah,
She did
yeah.
an MF
Like
Pearl.
full circle. So you're building like an organic. It's a community now.
Yeah.
That's what it turned into.
It's a community.
Who would have thought, dude?
Yeah, so that picture that you saw, it was for a concert at Sun City Studios.
Yeah, dude, it looks sick.
It was
looked.
so
I was like,
nice.
damn, dude, like we should do, because like, so what I want to do with this space is, because we have so much space out there that I want to do like vendor pop-ups. Like we just have to. It's like.
Yeah.
It's in the name, Desert People. It's like we outgrew t-shirt sales through Instagram and like a website, right? We need like the next phase. So that's why like I started the podcast, but now using all of this space to have like people like you. But also I started thinking like, well, and that's why I wanted to ask you, because it's like, say we have a short film, or say we have a movie that's filming. Have you ever, well, now you're doing it, but you're providing your plants as like a backdrop for creative stuff, right? So you're like renting out your plants,
Basically,
dude.
yeah.
That's so sick. You're like a plant pimp.
I love it. Plant dealer.
You're a plant dealer, dude. Exactly.
But yeah, if you ever need
I'll definitely keep you in the loop of what we want to do, but at least once a month, just opening up this space to have people come through and just check out local stuff. But I'll keep you in the loop on that. That would be super, super dope. Damn, I learned so much. I think everybody that's watching also learned some stuff from you. So no album, that's not coming out. You're not dropping any
Not yet.
any music. Okay. But that, I mean, it translates, right? Like, dude, just sing like all the lyrics could be about plants.
Yeah.
Like, what is she talking about? Or like a plant rapper.
Yeah, that'd
And
be
you're just
cool.
talking about plants, beef with plants. Anyways, well, we have hit an hour and 5 minutes. I want to thank you again for swinging by.
Thank you for having me.
So everybody, make sure that you check. Let me plug in your handles. So you can follow Nancy on her plant ventures at La Planta TX, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Is it Nancy Orchata?
Yes.
That's hilarious. And the Sanctum, correct?
Yeah.
It's not available for Airbnb, so don't even think of that. But just follow the pages so that you can give Nancy some support.
Yeah. And let's connect.
Damn. Let's connect, guys. Well, again, thank you so much. High five. That was a grift. All right, guys. We'll see you on the next episode. And thanks for tuning in.
Bye.
Peace.